I do have some news. Let's sit you down right here. I can only laugh. I can only laugh. That's my only reaction. You guys might have seen this on the car probably like 2 weeks ago. So this lasted very long. This lasted about a week and a bit. RIP front lip. I am going to try and salvage and fix this as best as I can. I'm going to take you guys through that, see how I do, and see if I can actually fix this. This came off the freeway and yeah, I ran over it. So this has gone through some punishment. Wish me luck, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. And on a side note, smash that like and subscribe button because I really need your support right now. So I've asked around and seen what people have done to repair plastic. So I'm gonna use like a epoxy type putty type thing. You could just get this from any hardware store. For reinforcement, I just got some like mesh tape. Just gonna use some masking tape just to make sure everything's in place while I put the putty, the epoxy on. The first thing I need to do is to actually get all this into its original place and everything, and then just tape it off so it doesn't go anywhere. I might have to sand a little bit. Pretty much just tape over the front side just to make sure the crack is even, just so when I do put the epoxy in on the back to stay even and there's no like lumps or whatever. Just gonna go ahead and keep going and tape everything and get everything flush. Now all this is all taped up, I'm gonna get the epoxy ready and start applying it to the back where all these cracks are. I might sand this down a bit more. It doesn't matter if there's any gaps in between the cracks. Hey, that rhymed. Anyways, the epoxy will actually sit in that, and you want a little bit of gap just to have the epoxy sit in that and mate them together and everything like that. I've never actually used this before, so we'll see how it goes. My plan is to have the initial layer with just this and put some mesh tape over it, and then put another layer of this on top of the tape. I'm using this on the back just so it's more reinforcement. Once you start mixing the epoxy, you got about 15 minutes to apply it before it gets too hard and you can't work with it. I might time lapse this just because there is a time frame where I need to work with it and see how it goes. So yeah, all right, enjoy. So I've done the whole back side of this big crack. This bit was the one that pretty much snapped off. I've done a bit on that crack and started on there. So I think this is done. Now I might unmask it and then do the front side, and then we'll move on to this side, which has, I think, 3 parts I need to repair. I just wanted to get this side here done just because it was literally the biggest one and like the most major one that needed repairing. One thing to note with this, it smells pretty bad. All right, let's get back on to epoxying. Not too bad. It is not too shabby. Look at that. I'm just gonna put more epoxy on the front, just cover up these cracks, and then when that's done, sand it back, and then should be good to go. It's actually so satisfying when you sand epoxy down and it's flush and it's just smooth. I have finished sanding, putting epoxy on, then sanding again, and sanding, and sanding. Sanding was pretty much my whole day. That literally took like 5-6-ish hours. I'm still determined to make this front lip work. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I'll see you guys tomorrow because I'm done for the day, and yeah, I'm over today. We are on day 2 of repairing my damn front lip. So the plan for today is to sand some more. This whole video is pretty much me sanding. I want to smoothen out the epoxy down a bit more, and then I'm going to sand the old paint off just so it's ready for like primer. To make my life easier, I do have like a sanding machine tool thingy. That's going to be the objective for today, and then I'm going to do that, then need to go to the store and get some primer. Halfway through sanding, I'm almost finished sanding. The reason why I'm sanding everything back is because there's a clear coat over the paint. In order to repaint, you can't repaint over clear coat because it's smooth and paint won't, nothing will stick to it. So I have to sand all the clear coat off. And so here you can see the difference between the paint with the clear coat, and here is where I've started to sand the clear coat off. As you can see, it's like a white hazy paste type thing. And here is where there's no clear coat or like paint or whatever, where it's very dull and very matte type. It needs those little abrasions for the primer to stick. Yeah, to see this all in one piece again makes me so happy because of what it was. Alright, so I've done all the sanding. Pretty sure I've done all the sanding. I mean, I'm pretty finished. I'm pretty done with sanding right now. Clear coat is sanded off, everything's smooth. And so now I'm just gonna wash it, wipe everything down with like soapy water, and then we are on to priming. We are actually at the stage of finishing and painting. This is literally the last bits. I'm very excited. It's another very hot day, so painting should be really or relatively easy and better. Pretty much the same as the last video. If you haven't watched that video, go ahead and watch that video. That's me painting the whole lip and installing it. Put like a card up here. Please go ahead and watch that to see what the lip actually looked like the first time. It is hot. Tomorrow I'm going to wet sand it and then paint it. I need to buy more clear coat tomorrow, that's why I'm not painting it today. And yeah, so tomorrow wet sand the primer and then go on to painting. Almost there. We are almost there. Alright, so we are on to day 3. Hopefully this is the last and final day of doing this freaking front lip. It's finally paint time. Paint, clear coat, and then it's done. Depending on how the clear coat does come out, I might have to wet sand the clear coat and then polish it with compound and stuff, but I'm fine with that. That's like the final stage. Everything's primered, filled and everything, so now I'm just going to wet sand the primer, just make everything smooth, just because the surface is still a little rough. Just gonna wet sand it, and then when everything's smooth and wet sanded, then we can move on to paint. After wet sand, I'm gonna mask everything up just like last time, because I'm doing a red and a black. Wet sand is finished. It is hot. just clean it up, just hose it down. It's out in the sun, just drying at the moment. So pretty much it for the front lip. Just got to paint, clear coat. All the hard part is done, epoxy's done, sanding the epoxy, more sanding and more sanding. So all the hard parts done. Now I just got to paint and then just see what it looks like. Probably just update you guys in between coats of paint and just to see what it looks like in between. And there's Classic Cars and Coffee on Friday, which is in 2 days, so I want to pretty much get this done before then and try to get it onto the car and go to Classic Cars and Coffee with this lip on. Update. We are done with painting and now it is on to some clear coat. Alright, so here's the front lip now. I did 4 coats of black and 4 coats of red. Yeah, it's not the best job, it's not the neatest job, it's actually pretty bad. Could have taken a lot more time with masking. Working on this for 3 days in around 40, 41, 42 degrees Celsius heat outside. I got frustrated really quickly, so it is what it is now. I'm just happy that it's back in one piece and I can actually run this again. The only thing I do have to do now is just put some coats of clear coat. Pretty much last update, I've done like 4 or 5 coats of clear coat. Now I'm just letting it to cure maybe 24-48 hours just so the clear coat can sit and harden. I'll chuck it on the car before I go to the meet. Take you guys with me to the meet, the end of the year, and Classic Cars and Coffee, all the big boys come out. So there's gonna be like supercars, exotic cars, there's just gonna be a whole bunch of array of cars. Keep updated to check out that video that will come out, and yeah.